let's start with the financial intuition water. So
Okay.
financial intuition holds a unique frequency. And what is that? What is the frequency that's in there?
So financial intuition is, it's based on a series of waters that we have at Healers Who Share. It's the PKU series. And I like to call that series of waters the waters for skills. So these are the waters that we use to deepen different abilities, such as intuition or dowsing, creativity. We have one for math or auditory or writing. And so financial intuition is one of the waters we have as a skill. And what that water does, how it works, is it clears and transmutes blocks in neural networks. It opens up new neural networks that we may not be using yet. And so when we do that, it's kind of like we can come into more information, more understanding of information, because now we have the networks that can take that information and synthesize it in a way that makes sense for us. And as you know, too, from our conversations about this water, because you and I have been playing with this one, what I have seen with it is that it tends to help get one focused, which is very common in that series of waters with the other ones as well. But this is where it gets you focused. Specifically, I see it getting focused with finances, but also with creativity and work. So like how I work, for example, when I started taking this one, it really focused me creatively on projects that then led to, financial abundance or to greater ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. I had a couple of my clients working with it. And the cool thing about the financial intuition water is that everyone was having different experiences with it. When I took it, I was automatically like, okay, here's this investment that's been available that I've always just ignored. And that feels like a 100% yes. Like I almost felt like it was the version of me from the future being like, hey, this is where you're going to make a lot of money. And so within a day or so, the person who would teach me about that was like, I'm offering a webinar teaching about this thing. And so I was like, oh, great. And then, the investment went up and up and up. And that was really cool. I had my mom try the waters out with me. She's a guinea pig as well. And she had some really cool experiences also. I mean, just intuitively, she schedules people. She owns a restaurant. She and I own a restaurant together. She scheduled people in ways like where it ended up like, oh, so-and-so, all these people got COVID, but I had overbooked the schedule, so we're fine. Or, I didn't have this person show up and it turned out this happened. And like, she just was kind of ahead of the game as if she already knew all the little things that were going to go on. She had it all. She was like, wow, that was lucky I did that. And I was like, it's the water. So I had another client who took it, who she just got really clear on who she needed to fire in her company. I remember someone taking it, because this was our water in the December Possibility Squad. I had someone take it who got really productive, right? Because some people, their financial blocks, like it's like they had an intuition like, oh, I need to work harder on this one thing and put my energy on this one thing. And then it turned out that thing is what led to more money. So I just love how it's different for each person. Like wherever I love how you just described it as like a neural network that you're just kind of getting focused in on now. Like, okay, what's it going to take, or where am I going to go? What are we doing?
The neural networks that we're developing, like as we get comfortable with them and let them extend and expand, how we're creating financial intuition, like not just like, okay, this is the landscape of money, like you and I talked about recently, the landscape of money. It's like, how am I creating the landscape of money?
Right.
So that, it's creating how financial intuition works, how your finances work, in a way that's for you, not just you're meeting the way it currently is, but actually creating something new.
Yep. And so that's why, and this water is what spurred my idea to do the financial intuition course, because the money is changing. Like in my Headwatt Business School, I taught people to like money works however you think it works, right? Like in your reality, you can create the model of how money works, right? And so as you start activating your financial intuition is kind of a great strategy, because then you can kind of be ahead of whatever the rest of the world is doing. It doesn't have to apply to you. What is going to be your fastest path or your most efficient or highest joy or whatever you're calling in for yourself financially. So, and then our other water that we're going to be using is called Wealth Attunement. So can you tell everyone what Wealth Attunement, what frequency this has been programmed with.
I love that one. Yeah, that one actually, that formula came out of using the financial intuition. That's how I was able to kind of access the frequencies that go into this formula, was because I was working with that. I had done your program. And so all of that inspiration and shift that came out of it was wealth attunement. And this one is really cool. It's a complex of resonances in this formula. From some of the resonance formulas that we have, I draw on some of that, like the Access Resonance Beauty, which is possibility, right? So it opens up possibilities. There's also the resonance of abundance in there, but also tuning. So when I'm working on attunement, I'm thinking about strengthening receptor sites, clearing receptor sites of like what is able to land there. So some of kind of like what you just cleared, Jackie, that kind of stuff, and what you'll be clearing in the program, those limiting beliefs that we just kind of like let land in our field and we kind of have them hanging around. Mm-hmm. This water helps you really release that excess kind of fuzz of beliefs that are hanging around, right. Strengthen your receptor sites for what you're able to receive, but also what you broadcast out. So when you go through the program, the financial intuition program, where you get everybody into that high vibratory state and we're broadcasting energy out, that it's a really strong message. Not in a way that's pushy, it's just we're easily amplifying that energy out of wealth, and wealth in all of its forms. Like you kind of get to play in what kind of wealth am I creating? It could be financial abundance, but it could also be health or love or whatever it is that you're focusing your intention on.
Awesome. Yeah. What I love about it, like it helps you to discern what is junk versus what is intuitively landing. Like, so for instance, I was, when I first started getting into cryptocurrencies, Danielle Madden, who I think is on the call right now, she did a really cool webinar teaching me about them. And she was like, don't buy the shit coins, don't do this. And what did I do? I hopped on Instagram and every day somebody's got a new coin that's the next big thing. And I was just firing away, right? Because that wasn't my intuition. That was all the junk that's being broadcast all over the wave. So how often do you guys hop on social media and what someone is saying as truth is interfering with your intuition? This happens with diet and nutrition. This happens with money. This happens with, personal growth and how energy works. There's all kinds of junk out there. And so what the wealth attunement water does is it helps you to kind of be able to discern what is junk versus what is coming through intuitively. So that's one of the great things about that water. So Michelle, thank you so much for sharing. I thought it would be fun to bring you up so that people could kind of feel the vibrations of these waters.